Alright, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Hawashai, Kala Yahweh Bakhan Shai, Bakhan Kakadash, Damana to the elder, positive great military, had great military will, and sincere citation to the Akin of Prince of the Truth, called the fourth corner of the earth to the fear and power of Yahweh Bakhan Shai, out of the hopeful elect, and who the world inwardly called God, named Yahweh, and who the world inwardly called Jesus Christ, named Hawashai, who the Hebrew Israelite that consists of the so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native American Indians, and those whose line descendants were back to one of the 12 tribes of Israel, due to the scattering amongst the nations, all right, across the amongst the four corners of the earth, all right. It's Mahari call from the Great Millstone Los Angeles camp, back with none elections, and Amanah Rastadah, Lord willing, be edifying to the fear and power of Yahweh shall shine at the hope will elect. Like it. The spirit and power of Yahweh shall shine by saying Howard Kakadash with the Holy Spirit. All right. So this lesson gonna be spiritual night. All right. Feed the Tabernacles. All right. You know, we're headed. Uh, we're in the midst of the. Is it the 8th or the 7th day? Let me look at the calendar real quick. It started on the 29th. All right. Which was the last week, which was the Sabbath. All right. So the 29th to the 30th. And then we got 30, 31. And then the first, second, third, the fourth, and the fifth. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, so we're in the 7th day right now. All right, it's the 7th day of the Beat the Tabernacles, which just started on the at sundown. All right, which is today is the Tuesday the 5th. All right, so this is because, as you know, the day basically started at sundown. So right now, at nighttime, at the beginning of a day. All right, so we're in the 7th day of the Feast of Tabernacles. All right, so it's spiritual because hold on real quick. I was asking my woman. I was asking her because of the job I have. They have a sign-up sheet whether to sign up to work the holiday or not. So I was asking her if we were doing anything on Labor Day. All right, so I know if to sign up for it or not. So I wouldn't have to work it, or I do have to work it. So it's pretty much that. So like it's pretty much sad that she had planned, or we had planned to go camping. All right, and hold on. Yeah, so it's pretty much said we're going camping. So I was like, cool. I gotta sign up for the holiday. All right. But I'm trying to remember what date that was. So let me look real quick. Hold on. Oh, still I can. Give me a second. Okay, so I found it. So this was August 20th. Yeah, August 20th. I was at work after, and basically she was named gonna go camping. All right, so I was like, cool. I ain't gotta sign up for the holiday. This was, yeah. So basically, like a week before I knew the Feast of Tabernacles was gonna happen, but when it came around to it, I forgot that the Feast of Tabernacles was going to be at the same time that we were going to be that it was going to be the Feast of Tabernacles. All right, which is the higher holy day. Okay, so let's get to the scripture, Leviticus 23, and we got 20. Where is this? 30, 33. And the Lord Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, The 15th day of this 7th month shall be the feast of tabernacle, right? Because according to the new moon cycle, all right, it will be basically the day after the Sabbath, all right, the 15th day. Okay, all right, basically, uh, it's second 7-day period of the moon cycle. All right. So it said, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, 15th day of this month shall be the feast of tabernacles for 7 days unto the Lord Yahweh. All right. Which now it be Yahweh now Shai. On the first day shall be a holy convocation. You shall do no servile work during, right? Treated as a Sabbath. 7 days ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. The Yahweh shall Shai. On the 8th day shall be a holy convocation unto you, right, which another treated as the Sabbath. And you shall offer an offering made by the fire unto the Lord Yahweh shall Shai. It is a solemn assembly, and you shall do no servile work therein. All right. So these are the, and then it said, these are the feasts of the Lord Yahweh shall Shai, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations, to offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord Yahweh shall Shai, a burnt offering and a meat offering, a sacrifice and a drink offering, everything upon his day. All right. So yeah, because now we don't do a sacrificial offering unto the Lord. All right, because Yahweh Shai had came and replaced that. But scripture states, judges, because right now, we're rehearsing the law, statute, commandments. All right, because we still got work. Some might be able to, stay in a tent for 7 days. I was just fortunate to do yesterday and today. All right, so I started. I'm sorry, Monday. All right, Monday going to Monday night, and then Tuesday going into tonight. All right. So this judges 5. and 11. They that are delivered from the noise of Archer and the places of drawing water. All right, because the elect going to be delivered, all right, from the noise of the Archer is going to be the ITB of Mental Hidden Place, America. Okay? In the places of drawing water, there shall they rehearse, right? Because right now we're rehearsing the righteous act, all right, of the Lord Yahweh Shai, even the righteous act toward the inhabitants of his villages in Israel. Then shall the people of the Lord Yahweh Shai go down to the gate. So right now we're rehearsing the righteous act, all right? We're not going to get it completely perfect right now, but we're striving to do it, okay? So that's just to bring out the point that, we have these feast days, all right, and high holy day, all right? But you are commanded to keep 3 of the feast days. Well, not commanded to keep them, but to go down to Jerusalem, all right? Feast of, all right, the Passover is the one for sure, I believe. The first fruit, and the third one, can't remember. Let me see. Anyway, let's get, hold on. Yeah, the Passover, all right, and Feast of First Fruit, and the Feast of Tabernacles. Yeah, okay. So these were the 3 that we had to come down to Jerusalem for. Okay. All right, because the Feast of Tabernacle was to remember. All right, and this brother did a very beautiful breakdown on it, or going into it, the understanding of it. All right, the brother Shaquat from the Dreamers Las Vegas camp. All right, going into it, why this custom is important. Okay, so to remember, that's on this channel, GMS LV Sound Council 144. I'll put the link in the description box. But that was our customs, all right, to remember what we had did in the wilderness, all right, for 40 days. We was drilling a tent, okay, and we was having a feast. That's right there, feast of tabernacle, because you're having a feast out in your tent, and drilling with tabernacles. All right, tabernacle going to, let's go to it real quick. All right. 34. Look at the word tabernacle real quick. All right, it's the ka. All right, ticket, covered, boot. All right, boot, root, or temporary shelter. All right, if the day like a tent would be a temporary shelter. Like myself and the family, we use a temporary shelter that you would put up to go camping. All right, and actually we're at a campground too. All right, so a tent, okay, you put up temporarily. All right, look good. All right, a portable shelter made of cloth supported by one or more pole and stretched tight by cord or loop. All right, attached to peg driven into the ground. All right, so that's tent, modern day tent. Okay, so, but it's a temporary shelter that you use. All right, for the Feast of Tabernacles or the Feast of Tent, all right, to commemorate, to remember, all right, ultimately to keep the law, statutes, commandments, all right, because these high holy days to keep them generations to generation, which will be forever, all right, to remember, all right, the past event, all right. So yeah, so like I said, it's spiritual night because uh, I believe after the sun went down, all right, they'll have a fire going, and I don't remember hearing it, but my woman was saying how she heard a Native American like horn or flute playing. All right, I thought that was spiritual, and then we had seen a chariot, about an hour later. And that's why I called this video "Spiritual Night, Feast of Tabernacles." So all this on the basically on the ending of the Feast of Tabernacles. All right, coming into the last days of the 7 days of the Feast of Tabernacles. All right, so that's why I call it the spiritual night. Okay, we're also going to briefly what is the Feast of Tabernacles as well, or why we keeping it, you know. So hold on. So it's in the blue letters that this feast was celebrated in commemoration of the Israelites dwelling in tents in the wilderness for 40 years. Like I said, it was kept with greater hilarity. All right, whatever that means. Let's look up that word. Hilarity. Or hilarity. How they got that? Hilarity. Like it. Extreme amusement, especially when expressed by laughter. Than any of the other festivals, hence in the Talmud, with the small hatter, that's what they follow. It is often called Chag, the feast, by way of excellences, and by Philo, the greatest of the feasts. It was therefore more noticed by the heathen than any other. It is probable by the crop borrowed from it, the law which he made in Athens, that the master of every family should, after harvest, make a feast for his servants and eat together with them who had taken pains with him in tilling his ground. All right, but the main part, or the true part, is basically drilling in tent. All right, to remember us dwelling in tent for 40 years in the wilderness. All right, so that's what it's about. Okay. It's Deuteronomy 15, basically the same thing. At 13, thou shalt observe the feast of tabernacles 7 days. After that, thou hast gathered in thy corn and thy wine. All right, it's basically the point with verse 13. It's Nehemiah 8 and 14. And they found written the law which the Lord Yahweh had commanded by Moses, that the children of Israel should dwell in booths, all right, which is another word for tent, in the feast of the 7th month. Okay? So yeah, so now, because you got to remember, he was ultimately Yahweh Shai, the one that was giving us the manna, the bread, in the water in the wilderness. All right, because he spoke of it. I believe it's in Hebrews. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he. No, it's in Hebrews or it's in John. Yeah, it's in John. It's in John chapter 6 and 31. All right, I believe we're going back and forth with the Pharisee or with the disciple. Okay, so let's start at let's start at 31. Our father did eat manna in the desert, as it is written, He gave them bread from heaven to eat. Then Yahushua said unto them, it's written in red, Verily, verily, I say unto you, Moses gave you not that bread from heaven, but my Father giveth you the true bread from heaven. All right, for the bread of Yahweh is He which cometh down from heaven and giveth life unto the world, which He was talking about Himself, because He is the bread. All right, He is the bread. That's why in the last Passover that He had, He told His disciples, take this bread and eat of me. All right, okay, it was symbolic of His body. All right, not literally eating Him, but the bread represented Him giving the bread in the wilderness. For the bread of Yahweh is He which cometh down from heaven and giveth life unto the world. Then said they unto Him, Lord, evermore give us this bread. And Yahweh said unto them, I am the bread of life. He that cometh to me, thee, shall never hunger, and he that believeth on me shall never thirst. Right? Because in the wilderness, the bread and the water was given to the Israelites. All right, but now the bread and the water came in the form of a man, which was Yahweh Shai. All right, which you shall never hunger and thirst if you believe it on Him. All right, it wasn't physical no more. All right, therefore you by believing on Yahweh Shai, it was like eating the manna from heaven. All right, in the water that Moses had strike the rock and came out. This time, the Yahushua came down, and He was that bread and water. All right, spiritually. All right, so He was that spiritual water and bread. It said, but I said unto you that ye also have seen me and believe not, because they didn't believe Him. All right. All that the Father giveth me shall come to me, and him that cometh to me I will in no wise cast out. For I came down from heaven not to do my own will, but the will of Him that sent me. Right? Because outside, He did the will of His Father. All right? It said, and this is the Father's will which hath sent me, that of all which He hath given me I shall lose nothing, but shall raise it up again at that last day. And this is the will of Him that sent me, that everyone which seeth the Son, which was Yahushua, and believeth on Him, may have everlasting life, and I will raise him up at the last day, which will be the elect. All right, Yahushua is going to raise them up. All right, verse 41. The Jews then murmured at Him, because He said, I am the bread which came down from heaven. And they said, is not this Yahushua, the son of Joseph, whose father and mother we know? How is it then He says, I came down from heaven? Because they didn't understand that He was indeed Yahushua that came into the flesh. All right. Yeah, this whole chapter is good, man. Let's keep going. Uh, no man come can no man can come to me except the Father which hath sent me draw him, and I will raise him up at the last day. It is written in the prophets, and they shall be all taught of Yahweh. Every man therefore that hath heard and hath learned of the Father cometh unto me. Not that any man hath seen the Father, save he which is of Yahweh, he hath seen the Father. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believeth on me hath everlasting life. And that's how you have access to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh. Alright, it's by going to Yahweh Shai, and he going to grant you everlasting life. I am that bread of life. Your father did eat manna in the wilderness and are dead. Why? Because that was temporarily, and that was just a physical thing at that point in time. But this bread and water that we have now is the Yahweh Shai, which is spiritual and everlasting. This is the bread which cometh down from heaven, that a man may eat thereof and not die. See, because we read earlier, go up to verse 30, 35. I am the bread of life. He that cometh to me shall never hunger. See? So you eating the bread, you shall never hunger. Guess what? You're not going to die. All right? Because it's spiritual now. All right? I am the living bread which came down from heaven. If any man eat of this bread, he shall live forever. All right? And that's what Yahweh was talking about at the Passover. All right? Because it's symbolic of basically believing on him. All right? So that's why he was telling the disciples, let's get to it. Matthew 26. Yeah, Matthew 26 and 26. And as they were eating, Yahweh took bread and blessed it and brake it and gave it to the disciple and said, take, eat, this is my body. And he took the cup and gave thanks and gave it to them, saying, drink ye all of it, for this is my blood of the New Testament, which is shed for many for the remission of sin. And the many is talking about the Israelites, but the one that's going to have be granted access to that going to be the elect. All right, but I say to you, I will not drink henceforth of this fruit of the vine until that day when I drink it new with you in my Father's kingdom. All right, but the point was in verse 26. And as they were eating, Yahweh took bread and blessed it and brake it and gave it to the disciples and said, take, eat, this is my body. All right, so that was to represent him being that bread that came down from heaven. All right. Now back in John chapter 6 and verse 35 or 34, 33. I'll start at 32 again. Then your house shall say unto them, verily, verily, I say unto you, Moses gave you not that bread from heaven, but my Father giveth you the true bread from heaven. For the bread of Yahweh is he which cometh down from heaven and giveth life unto the world. Then said they unto him, Lord, evermore give us this bread. And Yahweh said unto them, I am the bread of life. He that cometh to me shall never hunger, and he that believeth on me shall never thirst. But I say unto you that ye also have seen me and believeth not. All that the Father giveth me shall come to me, and him that cometh to me I will no wise cast out. For I came down from heaven not to do my own will, but the will of him that sent me. And this is the Father's will which hath sent me, that of all which he hath given me, I shall lose nothing, but shall raise it up again at the last day. And this is the will of him that sent me, that every one which seeth the Son and believeth on him may have everlasting life, and I will raise him up at the last day. All right. Okay, we read all this already. I jumped down to verse 47. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believeth on me hath everlasting life. I am the bread of life. Your father did eat manna in the wilderness and are dead. This is the bread which cometh down from heaven, that a man may eat thereof and not die. I am the living bread which came down from heaven. If any man eat of this bread, he shall live forever. And the bread that I will give is my flesh, which I will give for the life of this world. See? So that's why he told the disciples, all right, which we read in Matthew 26, right before he, went on the cross. Look, this bread is representation of me, all right, because he was that bread. And that's what's going on in John chapter 6. So it said, the Jews therefore strove among themselves, saying, how can this man give us his flesh to eat? Okay, they was thinking carnally, right? Then Yahushua said unto them, they was so carnal with it, man. They wasn't spiritual at all. Then Yahushua said unto them, verily, verily, I say unto you, except ye eat the flesh of the Son of Man and drink his blood, ye have no life in you. Whoso eateth my flesh and drinketh my blood hath eternal life, and I will raise him up at the last day. For my flesh is meat indeed, and my blood is drink indeed. He that eateth my flesh and drinketh my blood dwelleth in me. All right, because basically by you believing on Yahweh and actually doing what he did, it's like you eating him. All right, not physically, but you're eating him in a spiritual sense. As the living Father hath sent me, I live by the Father, so he that eateth me, even he shall live by me. This is that bread which came down from heaven, not as your father did eat manna and are dead. He that eateth of this bread shall live forever. All right, because basically, if you eat of Yahweh it basically replace the word eat with believe. Look up eat anyway in the Greek. But even though it was a parable stuff, he was basically speaking to them in parables. All right, it was a dark thing to them because they didn't understand. That's the Greek word.
Strong's G 5176. Trogo.
All right, there's to eat. It was strong. It's basically to eat. Yeah, it's basically to eat. Because he was speaking to them in parables. They didn't get it. They didn't understand it. All right. So that's why we got to understand it now. All right. All right. Starting with the elder apostle, great male on down, and to the spirit and power of Yahweh, by Yahweh Shai, by Yahweh Kakadash, the Holy Spirit. All right, to give us this understanding. So this will conclude, and I'll end it at this. All right, a spiritual night, the Feast of Tabernacles, and with that, shalom.